Hi everyone, it's Simon. Now I've spent the last few months slowly building what I think is the best Mac desk setup I've ever had, and I mean ever. Every piece of this tech is intentionally chosen, tested, swapped, argued over with myself, and in some cases sent back. So today I'm walking you through the whole thing, piece by piece, premium pick and a budget alternative for each. So whether you've got champagne tastes or a sparkling water budget, there's something here for you. Oh, and before we get into it, do me a favor and double check you're actually subscribed below, because a lot of you are probably just getting fed my videos by the algorithm anyway and haven't realized you're not. Oh, and on that note, stick around at the end for what's on the wall behind my desk, because it might be my favorite discovery of the whole build. Let's build a desk. While I build this, some of these products were sent to me for review, and some links below are affiliate links, but everything here is on my actual desk because I actually chose it. Every setup starts with the surface you're working on, and this is the Calmer from a company called ClickClack. Same people behind the Koicon or QCon monitors, which if you've watched my recent videos, you'll know I really rate. This desk has a weird effect on people. Every colleague and friend who's walked past the studio stopped and asked me about it, not because it's a standing desk, because it doesn't look like one. The legs are a combination of bamboo and steel. The heavy-duty steel and motors supports sit towards the back, so there's this kind of floating quality, and you feel like you've got more leg room somehow. There's also a lovely crossbar, but that actually doubles as a surprisingly useful footrest when you're reclining. Building it took a little longer than your typical standing desk. Lots of parts, lots of small refined pieces. I think that's because this feels closer to a custom piece of furniture than flat pack office equipment. They sent me a grey desktop. I'd maybe have gone with light oak for the legs if I could, but the bamboo still looks good, and maybe they'll update it one day. Sit stand is really smooth. There's preset positions. You can double tap to jump between them or hold and click once wherever you like. It goes from 65 centimeters to 130 in height, but the cable management, this is where it really earns its keep. There is a flip-up cable tray under the full width of the table, and it's beautifully integrated. You can pack everything in it, close it up, and I think the back of this desk looks just as clean as the front, and that's rare for most sit-stand desks. Now, two gripes. The tray swings fully open, so your cables spill out when you want to adjust them. There's not really a way to keep it half open. That would be good to see. And the sit-stand mechanism, it jolts and is a little bit sudden when it stops at the top and bottom positions. It's not as smooth as my Flexi Spot, but it's smooth enough. And at 130 centimeters wide, it's compact. Some might say too small for a desk, but I think it's actually one of its strengths. It feels like a considered piece of furniture, not an aircraft carrier. It even won an IF Design Award for 2026. And if you want a budget alternative, well, this is my older Made-Site desk. Dead reliable, super affordable, simple clean aesthetics. It won't turn heads like the Calmer, but it'll hold your Mac and your dignity intact. Sometimes that's all you need, right? All right, the chair. Now, if you've been following Better Creating for a while, you know I've got a running joke about the fact that I will eventually get a proper chair that supports my back. Well, I finally did it. And my angle on this one is straightforward. Any good chair needs time before you judge how long it lasts. This is a first impressions review, not a 2-year durability test. And at this price, you want to keep that in mind. But this is the Librenovo Omni. They sent it to me as part of a partnership, and I genuinely don't think that's changed my perspective at all. I really like it. I didn't pay the current $916 it costs. That's with a discount, so check it out now if you're interested. I've tried to evaluate it as if I did pay it. With that said, this is a very impressive chair. It wasn't that difficult to put together. I quite enjoyed it. I love that they gave me some white gloves to do it with. And the grey finish looks like someone at Apple got bored and designed office furniture. It's really gorgeous. If you're good at keeping things clean, that is. And if you eat lunch at your desk, maybe go with the darker option. But hey, that's exactly why they pack the gloves in the box. Setup runs in 4 steps. Lumbar support first. Those arrow buttons help you dial it in with a battery, so it's electronic. Armrest height next, level with your desk, seat height for proper leg alignment, and neck rest last. Adjust it until your neck stops sending you passive aggressive reminders. This one's got vertical and forward adjustments. The bionic flex fit backrest molds to your spine as you shift. It feels more like sitting in an expensive sports car seat than an office chair. The dynamic support system means everything, headrests, armrests, lumbar, adjust as you move. It's the kind of chair that makes you sit and relax properly without thinking about it. The armrests are brilliantly adjustable, and I do kind of love how they track with your movement, but they're a bit annoying because they're slightly loose. I keep knocking them out of position, and at this price point, I think they could be a little tighter on the design there. But you get 4 really significantly different reclining positions. 105 degrees for deep focus that kind of locks you in, 120 for solo work maybe, 135 for a soft recline for watching TV or a video that I'm watching back, and 160 for what I'm calling pretending to think but actually napping. That last one pairs with a built-in footrest that pops out from under your seat that you can add to it. To be honest, it adds very little cost if you add it in the bundle, so it's worth it. I'll be honest, I don't use it that often. Oh, and the best thing of all, that battery you stick in the side, it runs a 5-minute massage feature in your lower back. Yes, really, it's great, and it works. I've often heard my back do a little click. It's very satisfying. Now, a £1,000 chair. This isn't a Herman Miller chair that you can rely on from its history either. It's quite new. So if you're investing in a chair for the long haul, this is, however, genuinely interesting as a competitor. It's not cheap, but for the spec, at this money, it's a lot of chair. Budget alternatives, well, I actually would go a different route. This is the E45 Eames-inspired replica from Son, and it comes in a little cheaper for a completely different aesthetic. If the Omni is Apple-designed a chair, the E45 is the mid-century design studio. Different vibe, still comfortable, and it won't require a PowerPoint presentation to justify it to your poor partner. It's fine. Right, furniture sorted, now the fun bit, the actual tech we put on it. Okay, this is a Mac desk setup, right? So I did a full deep dive on every 2026 MacBook recently, the Neo, the Air M5 and the Pro M5, and I used all 3 for a month of real work. So I think I know where I stand. So I won't rehash all that here, you should go and watch that after this. But the short version for a desk setup, if you want a 1-cable dream where you plug in and everything works, display, peripherals, charging, well, they all do that really well. But the MacBook Pro, with its Thunderbolt 5 ports, HDMI, is the cleanest path for flexibility and power. And it is the most powerful laptop Apple have ever built. And the Air M5, well, it does it beautifully too, just with a fewer ports. So you'll likely want a dock. And we'll cover that in a moment because there's an amazing one I've got right here. A full breakdown of those Macs is linked below, and later I'll show you the one completely non-digital thing that this desk has that genuinely I can't stop using. Now, one thing worth adding, if the single cable laptop life isn't for you, there is now a genuinely interesting alternative, an M4 Mac Mini on your desk as your always-on machine, all the ports you could ever want, proper desktop power, probably no need for a dock, and that's going to work brilliantly for these new agentic AI systems like Claude Cowork, running round the clock, running your business. That means you can remote into your desk from your phone and it will work on your computer for you. Yeah, you need to get subscribed here and on my other channel for more on that. Pair that with this new MacBook Neo and you're getting a 2-machine setup for less than a single MacBook Pro. And yes, the Neo drives every monitor on this list, including the Studio Display XDR. That $599 laptop continues to impress me. All right, let's talk about the display. The Studio Display XDR, well, it's my forever monitor, so I'm putting it on the premium desk setup. 27 inches, mini LED, 2000 nits in HDR, 1000 nits in standard, 120 Hz refresh rate if you get the latest MacBook Air or Pro, and all through one Thunderbolt 5 cable. The Koicon G3 2P from ClickClack is in 32 inches of 6K at roughly half the price, and it's genuinely brilliant. So that would be my budget option. Or even better, check out their version of the Studio Display at 27 inches, which is very close to the same design, and that'll come in even less, at basically half the price of that Studio Display. So both of those options really strong. One thing though that ties this whole experience together is customizing the Mac itself, and I use minimal monthly wallpaper packs from yours truly, and a custom icon pack, also from yours truly, to keep the desktop looking intentional and clean. It sounds like a small thing, but when you spend a lot of time staring at a screen, it's really lovely to have a less cluttered and custom desktop that escapes all that default desktop stock icons that kind of ruin it for me. A curated wallpaper and a clean icon set makes the whole setup feel considered. Links below if you want to check them out. One quick note on something I've changed my mind about. I've moved away recently from monitor arms and desk shelves as well. Once you've got a display that's as beautiful as these, you don't want to hide it behind an arm or crowd it with a shelf. I actually prefer the space now. That said, if you do want a clean desk shelf, then Bololo make a really beautiful one, and Ugmonk's Gather shelf is excellent too. They're a bit spenny, but they're worth it. And the budget option is do this and don't have one. There's loads of good budget options. Just do a search and try and get a nice clean aesthetic. So you've got a Mac, you've got a display, and you're going to have a bunch of peripherals. Now you need to get them talking to each other in a way that's sustainable and powerful for that one cable life. That always means a dock. Now, these are often overlooked, but can be unbelievably useful if you want to get into a serious desk setup. I've used a few of these, and this is the latest Thunderbolt 5 dock from Anker, and wow, it's good. I wasn't planning to include this in this video, but I tried it and liked it so much I just had to. Anker did send it over, but there's been no money changing hands, just the dock sent to me. It's the first Thunderbolt 5 dock with a built-in power supply. No brick, no wall wart the size of a small dog, just the dock and the cable. Plug your MacBook Pro in and it handles charging, display, output, data transfer, SD card reading, the lot. And transfer speeds are roughly 3 times faster than Thunderbolt 4. So 150 gigabyte video project moves across in about 25 seconds, I expect. It's fast. For anyone working with 4K or 8K footage, that's not a nice to have. That's a lot of your evening back. I also love this because I can plug in my webcam and SSDs and just live that one cable life. It's built with M4 and M5 MacBook Pros in mind, and if you want a single cable desk with proper professional connectivity and no compromises, this is by far the cleanest way I've found to do it, and it does it very well. Budget alternative, I think this is where you've got to think laterally. If you went with one of the Koikon monitors from ClickClack or that M4 Mac Mini, then just don't have a dock at all. Those panels and the Mac Mini already pack Thunderbolt and USB-C ports on the back. They kind of become your dock. Different architecture, but for a lot of people, it's tidier and cheaper than adding a dedicated Thunderbolt 5 dock to the chain. Okay, let's talk about peripherals. 3 picks here. I'm not doing premium versus budget for this section because these I've tried to pick right in the sweet spot where you don't have to spend a fortune but you get great quality. This is the Orbit Key Desk Mat Slim. I've had various versions of this for years and it's the one I keep coming back to. It's slim, clean, feels good under the wrist. I like that there's these little magnetic cable holders if you want to hold things there, but to be honest, I just put my Apple Pencil in it because it's magnetic. And I like that you can slide the odd document inside this little document holder. The cream colorway ties the whole desk together, I think, and it adds a little bit of texture than just black, white, and gray like most people have. Keychron Q65 Max. This is a mechanical, wireless, compact, full mechanical keyboard, and it doesn't look like it belongs in a dungeon for gaming. The switches feel great, the layout is sensible, and it pairs beautifully with the desk mat. I've also tweaked the keycaps to give it my own kind of style and look, but I think it's really fantastic. And the best thing you can do with a Keychron keycap keyboard, very hard to say, is open it up, tape the back. It makes it sound a lot better. Try it. The point is, a good mechanical keyboard with Bluetooth connectivity just connects as you turn on your Mac, and it makes you want to type more. So give it a go. You could get one of these for just over $100. Logitech Lift. This is my mouse of choice. It's a vertical, ergonomic, and surprisingly affordable mouse, which is really good quality. And after about a day of feeling weird, your wrist quietly thanks you for the rest of your career. I've tried going back to a flat mouse, and honestly, this just is the answer now for me. And one more thing, well, this was thrown in when I received my desk. This is the VK01 control knob from ClickClack, and wow, it's really cool. This is a programmable knob, volume control, scrubbing editing timelines on Final Cut Pro, play, pause. You can kind of program it to do whatever you want. It's really simple, and I really love the clean cream colorway to go with the matte, but they come with a bunch of other colors check them out. They're rather nice. I think this is a really great idea. There's something about just having a specialist knob to use on your desk setup that makes me very happy. I will say I have one complaint about it. I cannot for the life of me work out how to turn off the RGB rainbow lighting around it. If anyone knows, comment section please, before I lose what's left of my minimalist credibility. Of course, the Studio Display XDR does have an excellent 12 megapixel center stage camera if you want to use it, but this is my go-to, the Insta360 Link 2, one more peripheral that's really earned its spot over the years. Once you go to a proper gimbal 4K webcam like this, it's very hard to go back. Now, admittedly, this is a premium webcam. It's a couple of $100. It's worth it if you do a lot of video calls or you're in content. I find it's incredibly useful. I can walk around when I'm having meetings in my studio and it will follow me. But best of all, it does a really natural blur in the background and looks like a much more expensive camera. So it can double up as something for streaming or if you want to have interviews or go on podcasts. There are other cheaper alternatives for the budget setup, and I will link those below, but this would be my go-to, or go for the non-gimbal version for a slightly more affordable option. It plugs into the monitor, runs through the laptop to the same single cable, and plays nicely with that Anker dock. Still one cable and super clean. Okay, let's take a moment to enjoy ourselves. Desk setups aren't just about the tech on the surface, it's about the aesthetics too. This is my favourite unusual find for a desk. It's not on the desk. These are the Bluminate e-ink canvas frames. I've got a triptych of 3 of these on the wall behind my desk, and they are one of my favourite discoveries. They are a full colour e-ink display that does not glow, Spectre 6 technology that looks like actual paintings or photographs. People walk in and think they're real prints. Now, you can set this up with your phone and schedule artwork or photography to rotate on a timer, and the battery lasts about a year. No cables on the wall, ever. It's brilliant. The clever bit though is I've got mine set to pop up a calendar schedule at a certain time and the morning weather summary at a certain time behind my desk. So they kind of function as quiet productivity displays when I need them and beautiful artwork the rest of the time. It's tech that disappears into your space, which is exactly what I want around my desk. Check them out, they're so cool. On aesthetics, I'm a big fan of my Hasami porcelain mug. Gotta have a good desk mug. The obligatory desk plant. Every desk setup video on YouTube historically has to have one, right? I mean, come on guys, like and subscribe, yeah? Sorry. Mine's a classic IKEA plant, but I put it in a nice concrete pot. And well, now I've finally got windows, I should probably replace it with a real plant. But for now, a bit of green to offset your screen goes a long way. Okay, storage and organization. A few extras that round things up. Ugmonk's Gather range is a beauty. Beautiful materials, beautifully engineered, all beautifully made and designed to stack and combine with magnets however you like. Desk organization that doesn't feel like you bought desk organization, but you definitely feel like you bought it. So yeah. Ugmonk's analog productivity cards. Yeah. A YouTube creator who talks about AI and Notion using physical index cards. I know, but I still think there's a place in 2026 for writing your key priorities on a card, putting them on your desk and using them. And I particularly love them when I'm filming in the studio. It's the easiest way for me to check something off. Now, I think a good Mac desk setup should involve you not spending extra hundreds and hundreds of pounds on native storage in the computer. And that means SSDs. Crucial X9 Pro, that would be my go-to. It's small, fast, quiet. Stick it on the back of your monitor with some Velcro or command strip and forget about it. Or plug it permanently into that Anker TB5 dock as always available fast storage. Either way, it solves the where did I put my file problem without adding anything to your desk surface. Oh, and check out the Mac video for the Ugreen NAS that I'm starting to experiment with, which is also a great option. Okay, one last thing, and this is the bit that ties all of this together. Now, none of these aesthetics and lovely tools matter if the back of your desk looks like a plate of spaghetti someone's been angry at. Look into 3D printing and open grid cable management system. This can mount under your desk, and then you can add various modular elements to route cables or hold a MacBook so it sits underneath. I figured this was a great way to put my MacBook Air on a single cable setup and have it sit underneath. That is a premium desk. The truth is, a great setup isn't about spending the most, it's about choosing things, I think, that work together that you actually enjoy sitting down and using every day. And if you want the full MacBook breakdown for 2026 of the Mac you need as well as the Mac you want, you need to watch this one right here and go down here for why Claude Cowork is the single most important Mac app you can use right now for 2026. Drop a like if this was useful, get subscribed if you haven't, and I'll see you on the next one.